So I attended your leadership workshop, and it was great, and it really connects with a lot of what we're teaching in our leadership course, Authority with Grace, especially a lot of the John Cotter things that you were talking about. So when you were putting your presentation together, what did you see as some of the most important key points to pull out?
Well, I think one of the key points is that, a couple, of course, that everyone is a leader. So everyone's job in this field is to influence others, influence them to this thinking, but also influencing in a positive way in their patch. And when we wrote the book about implementation of the restorative philosophy in schools, the thing that moved us forward was that training by itself does not achieve culture change, because what you end up with is isolated pockets of good practice, and unless you have some driving strategy that's aligned with the values of your organisation, then all of that's just a game of hit and miss, and actually nothing ever changes. We've also been in organisations that have tremendous policies and structures and whatever, but they've missed the heart piece in all of that. And the other thing I want to say about the people we've used in developing this approach to leadership in a restorative organisation is, when you look at people like John Cotter, when you look at people like Meg Weekly and Cousers and Posner with their executive leadership development, those people don't know they're talking about restorative relational practice, but they are. So it's very, very easy to tie those theories into how you must lead in a relational way with very high expectations and high support. It's absolutely critical to get that piece done. If you want people to follow you, you have to capture their hearts as well as their heads.
And you talked about, which was very interesting to me, the above the green line and below the green line. Could you just give a couple key points about that?
Okay, so the above the green line and below the green line, again, was the work of Meg Weekly and an Australian bloke called Tim Dalmo and someone else called Robert Knowles, I think. And that simply arrived out of a workshop they were doing with some senior executives from a very big mining company in Australia. And they were writing all over huge pieces of flip chart, butcher's paper and whatever, and when they stepped back and looked at all of the things that influence culture change, they realised that they could separate the stuff which was about the execution of the vision, which is the piece above the green line. They used a green pen. And from the things that matter to build connections and relationship between people when they're undergoing change. So one is about the execution of the vision, and the bit below the green line is about how we influence people to follow us. And you can only do it by connecting with them. And I know that we say we do this heart-to-heart stuff, but it's really, of course, about connecting in ways which trigger interest and enjoyment and honour the need for well-being and belonging and all of those things which we know are biologically absolute imperatives in our organisations.
So again, that heart work.
Yes, absolutely.
So important.
And that's very, that's not a foreign concept in Indigenous communities. They always talk about head talk and heart talk. So the restorative piece is all about heart talk, but to kind of embed it in an organisation, you have to do the execution. That's not a very good word for restorative practice, but getting it done, getting the work done, getting the policies and skills and structures in place. So both of those things together, if you just concentrate on doing the intellectual piece above the line, you won't get the culture change. If you concentrate on the relationship piece under the line, you will fail to embed it within the structures and processes. So it's really making sure that you do both.
High control, high support, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Thank you.